everybody. Before we bring Steven on, just put a one up and make sure you guys can hear me well. Let me just switch something on over here on. Alrighty, so everybody's got me good, and we do have Steven waiting in the wings. He is going to be here till 6:30. So if you've got some questions, get them up, and let's bring Steven right on. And there he is, the man himself. Steven, just say something to make sure my headphones are working.
Tommy, can you hear me?
There you go. There you go. So look, so I just spent a minute or two with Steven before the air, and this is a great pleasure for me. There are three chefs that I looked up to growing up. One was Rocco Spirito, which I just met. Rob Rainford, Licensed to Grill, which I have not met, and of course Steven Raichlen. So this is an honor for me. This is an honor. If anybody has any questions, just line them up. Steven does have a few things, and he is only going to be here for a little bit, so we don't want to hold him too long. But he is working on a couple things. Of course, the main one is for me, is the 25th anniversary of the Barbecue Bible. And basically, I mean, we all had that book. It is the one that started it all. So, Steven, if you would like to speak a couple words on that, how it started and so forth.
Well, it started in a very odd way. I have a degree in French literature. I was writing at the time a series of books about low-fat cooking. And this idea came to me, and I remember where I was sitting, what I was wearing, what the weather was like. And it was like I heard this voice that said, follow the fire. And the idea was that I was to travel the world's barbecue trail, documenting how people grill in different cultures and countries. Because if you think about it, grilling is universal, but everywhere it's done differently. And grilling is the world's oldest cooking method, but it still survives today and it still flourishes today. So that was the idea behind the Barbecue Bible. At the time, I thought, 100 recipes, 10 countries, I'll just kind of knock it out in a year. Well, it's a project that took me 4 years to complete, 537 recipes when all was said and done. I circumnavigated the globe 4 times to write it, and it's still in print, which in the world of publishing is pretty remarkable.
I mean, it has to be one of the biggest selling barbecue books ever. Would you say?
Well, that book and then the book that came after it, How to Grill, both have sold well over 1 million copies. So,
oh wow!
I guess I'm knocking on wood, and I'm thanking my lucky stars for that.
And as CMAC cooks, and we do have a lot of YouTubers in here. Of course, we've got a lot of fans. Anybody who's into food knows who you are. And CMAC Cook says the best hair in barbecue. and I would also add the smoothest voice in barbecue.
Well, thank you. You're very kind.
So there you go. So we've got a lot of comments on that book, and Wendy asked a question. You do have a reprint of a new book, which is going to be this beer can chicken book. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I wrote the beer can chicken book in 2004, and it sort of beer can chicken was a big thing back in 2004. I didn't invent it, but I was the guy that brought it from the backwaters of barbecue to the American mainstream. And it's a great way to cook chicken. And the book came out. It sold to 500,000 copies. It was a fun book. And, like all books, it's sort of the sales settled down. But last year, my publisher said, let's bring it out again. There's a whole new generation of barbecuers out there, and maybe they're not familiar with beer can chicken. So we brought it out, and it's a very different looking version. I wrote a new introduction to it, tweaked a lot of the recipes, completely new photographs. Actually, when the book came out, my publisher did not do books with color photography. So it's kind of it's an unexpected thing, but it's fun. Beer can chicken.
Okay.
I think people get a little too serious about it sometimes, and the chemistry and the physics, and do you really get a beer flavor? You know what? First of all, it's the best way I know to cook a chicken, because when you roast a bird upright, you're getting heat all the way around it, 360 degrees. So the skin becomes crackling crisp on all sides. And the second thing is it's just fun. It's whimsical. You open the grill, people see a chicken on a beer can. Now, that's not all there is in the book, by the way. I have unconventional ways to cook other birds. There's a chapter on side dishes, and even a chapter on dessert. So at any rate, it's sort of a fun exercise. That'll be this year's book. Next year's book, a departure for me, but those stand-up griddles that everybody's getting for their backyards now, like the Weber, the Traeger. So I got one of those, and I've been doing more and more. Well, my entry point was I have a griddle that I manufacture in the Steven Raichlen signature line. So I'd put it on my charcoal grill, right? And I would put wood chunks on the coals. And then griddling is great. There's some foods you just can't grill, right? It's pretty hard to grill a sunny side up egg. It's hard to grill pancakes. It's hard to grill small foods like fried rice. But I put this on my kettle grill, and I added wood chips to the coals. And then I was cooking away on the griddle, and I covered the grill lid. So I was smoking the food as well as cooking it on the griddle. And that for me was a revelation. I'm talking to you in Martha's Vineyard. I was worried, Tommy, that I wasn't going to make it in time because with the ferries and all the flight connections and everything, but got home about a half an hour ago. And I noticed at my local fish market that they have local fluke and local flounder. Now, they're great fish, but they're super fragile, right? You can never grill them. They're just too fragile. But if you put that plancha on the grill or plancha or griddle, they come out amazing. So that's the story.
I mean, you were a big live, if I remember correctly, and I'm going back now, you were a big live fire cooker.
I still am. I mean, I run Barbecue University. Oh, yeah. I have not abandoned the grills. I'm looking out my window here. I've got 6 grills out on my patio here. I've got another six grills in the main house. So I am very much. But you know what? After 25 years of grilling and smoking, because I took a big detour into smoking with my book Project Smoke, it's pretty exciting to be doing something a little different.
Okay, and 1047 says, my favorite episode was his U10 mesquite smoked cocktail shrimp.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for reminding me of that. The funny thing when you are, make a living as a cookbook writer and as a TV host is you are excited about the recipe as you're writing it and putting it on TV for the first time. And then you kind of forget about it. So, I haven't probably had that smoked shrimp cocktail in, 5 or 6 years. But you know what? Barbecue University is coming up in September at the Alisal Ranch in Solvang, California. I'm going to put that on the menu because that is really an awesome dish.
There you go. Let me go down these questions. We've got a lot of people in here.
Oh my God, you got a lot of folks coming.
Yeah. Does Steve get CMAC Cooks? Does Steve get out to Memphis in May or any of the big comps?
Steven has been to all of the big comps at various points in his career. Haven't done it much lately because I've been doing a lot of overseas travel. I've got a barbecue consulting thing going on in Switzerland next week. I was in Abu Dhabi over the winter with Steve Harvey doing headlining his for the first ever barbecue festival in the Middle East. But I have been to all of them. They're great festivals. I love Memphis in May. I love Kansas City Royal, and the Jack
Hmm.
Daniels is great because it's so small and intimate.
Okay, there you go.
And
And Scott
Scott, thank
says,
you very.
oh, so you could read them. You could read the
I can
questions
read it, but
going
yeah,
on.
I'll let you narrate it. Sure, go
So,
ahead.
so Scott says you are the founder of barbecue, and I have to tell you, I agree. You know, before Chef Ramsay, before all those guys, it was you. You know, before cooking was even, you know, you had your PBS shows where all these cooking shows resided, right, on basically free television for all the young cats out there that don't know what free television was. So you had your PBS and stuff, and
Yeah.
that's where all these shows. And I have to tell you, a lot of us, when we would come home at 2 o'clock in the morning, okay, from the bars, we would turn on, and of course, you know, there you were. I have to say. So that
Wow,
is,
that's fun.
yeah, that is, you know, that is pretty cool. It is pretty cool for me because, you know, I love to cook like we talked about. Unfortunately, it seems like, you know, your food networks, they've gotten away from that and they, you know, do the games, whatever. You know, so it's good to talk food. When people talk food, they light up. You know, food brings everybody together, you know. Let me just go down here.
Well, I've always considered myself a writer and a teacher, and I'm sure there are guys out there that barbecue better than me, but I like to think that what I bring to the table is kind of explaining how it works, showing how it works,
Yeah.
so that you can
You're,
take the basics and run with it.
you know, you're smooth. I mean, that would be the best way that I would describe you. Somebody put a comment up and called you the Bob Ross of cooking, which is quite funny because I have been called that a lot. I know you probably have not seen my YouTube channel, but I used to narrate a lot of what I was doing, and
Uh-huh.
I would bring my voice down to a little smoother of a level, and people would say, you know, you're the Bob Ross of cooking. So we've got that in common.
I
And
have
when I
heard
was,
that. I've heard that. I've been called that before.
yeah, and when I was younger, I had a full head of hair, afro kind of thing like you got going. So we have that in common too.
Cool.
So you were born in Japan, correct?
I was. Yep. Nagoya,
And
Japan.
okay, and at what age did you come to the States?
Well, unfortunately, I came to the States when I was 1 year old, so I don't remember a whole lot about the grilling. But I have been to Japan many times since then. One time to battle the Iron Chef, Orokusburo
I, I,
Michiba,
I read
and I
that, and you
won.
won.
Yep.
Yeah, there you
And then
go.
another
There you,
time, they did a translation of my book into Japanese, and I went on a book tour in Japan, which was pretty exciting. And then two
hmm.
other times, I went to do research first for Barbecue Bible, and then went back to Japan when I was writing Planet Barbecue. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, you got
So I
that
see a
question there.
very
So you,
good question
yeah,
here.
you do use a lot of high dollar grills. Have you done anything on a beginner grill? Obviously, some of the viewers can't afford the high dollar grills. Love you, man. Watch you all the time. Go ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely, I do. And I mean, Weber Kettle follows me
That's what
wherever I go,
of course, we
and
talk about that
I mean,
often.
they're kind of two parts to what I do, right? So one is I want everybody to be able to do and follow what I do. So I'd say probably I do, a large percentage of my cooking on inexpensive grills like Weber kettles. But at the same time, I think there's an aspirational quality to my shows, and I showcase some of these super expensive, super high end performance grills because we all got a dream, right? And I always tell
Hmm.
people, and people often ask me, what grill should I buy? And one thing I consistently say is buy more grill than you think you need now. And if it's a stretch, try and stretch, because as you get into this, you're going to quickly outgrow. If you get a very simple, basic grill, you're going to
Hmm.
quickly wish you had something more elaborate. But I think
And
at this point, you're in for a Weber kettle around $300 at this point, and you can smoke on a Weber kettle. You
mhm.
can You can direct grill, indirect grill, spit roast, grill in the embers. Very versatile. So,
And of course, as we all know, it doesn't matter what you're cooking on because it's always time, temp, feel, no matter what pit you're on, right? That's
amen. And
from the
also,
oven to the outside.
yep, and let's also, remember flavor too, because
Of
that principle of
course.
layering flavors, your rubs, your
Hmm.
marinades, your bastes, your butters, your condiments, it all goes into the picture. What it really boils
It
down
all
to, I mean,
goes.
I'm sure you would agree, is Tommy, is it's learning to control the fire and not have it control you.
Correct. So if this is Smash Mouth wants to know if Steve could only have one smoker, what would it be?
Oh boy. I don't, I'll tell you the smoker that I use to test the recipes for my books, okay? Because it's very reliable, it's very easy to use, and it's relatively inexpensive. And that is a Weber Smoky Mountain, aka the Bullet.
There you
Uh,
go.
and
The classic.
I've used everything. I mean, I'm looking out my window here. I've got an offset barrel smoker in the finest Texas tradition. I've got a big green egg around the corner, but I think that those water smokers, they're super easy to use, and they always deliver great results.
Okay, good. And Timbo says that he has been using Steven's Memphis dry rub recipe for over 10 years. It is the best.
I like that
And
one.
I
Thank
will
you.
also dive into this book here and get a couple of these recipes on my channel, and
Great.
I'll also send you a link so you could watch your recipes come to life.
I would love
Okay.
that. But by the way, speaking of barbecue rubs, I don't know if you know this, but I have a line of rubs. One's a Kansas City smoke rub. One is a
Hmm.
Carolina pit powder. And if you send me your address, Tommy, afterwards, I'll send you some. If people want more info on that, my website is barbecuebible.com. That's all written out,
I
BARBE.
I got him.
Oh, look at that. Okay, one
I got
step
him
ahead of
right.
you.
I got him right
Man,
back
it's
there. Your guy, I guess, publicist, sent me out a
okay.
bunch of stuff, so I'll
Cool.
definitely be diving, and I appreciate that, man. You seem
Of
like
course.
I mean, you seem like exactly how you are on TV. And I have to say, I was quite shocked that you even took my email to come on the show. And it is that just is a testament of what kind of person that you are. I have to say,
Well, Tommy, I feel like I have the greatest job on the planet.
wow.
And it's thanks to people like you and your viewers and listeners that I get up every day and I can do what I love. And every day is different. Never know what the next day is going to take me. So, how could you not be grateful to your audience?
I tell you, if you've heard my spiel on some of the past shows, so I'm a very positive individual. I studied under Wayne Dyer for a while, Abraham. I wake up with a smile, I go to bed with a smile, but I have that same spiel of barbecue and what I do. So I'm full time now. I'm retired, so I do this for a
Wonderful.
living. And I
Wonderful.
have met so many people. Food has really, at my age, okay, it has opened up a whole other world for me. Barbecue and the food. I've worked with Chef's Temp. I know you know them.
Mhm.
And I've met a lot of these barbecue people that you see here, and it is one big family. So I am right with you on that for sure.
I always say in the world of barbecue, there's no such thing as strangers, just friends you haven't met.
Yeah, beautiful. Brian, I always enjoy watching your shows on TV, Stephen. And could you name one of your favorite shows out of all the ones that you have had? That is a tough
Oh
one.
boy, that's a toughie. That's a toughie.
That is a tough one.
Yeah, I'll tell you one that was kind of fun. We did a couple of years ago, and it was called Brisket 24/7. And I did that show right after my Brisket Chronicles book came out. And we did brisket. Let's see, we did a brisket low and slow in the Texas style. I did a fast cook brisket like they do in Korea. What they do in Korea is they take the whole brisket, they freeze it, and they put it on a meat slicer, and they slice it into paper thin slices, which they then direct grill. So, if you always think like, I'm not going to do a brisket because I don't have 10 hours to spend on it. Well, if you use that technique, you're in start to finish, in less than 2 minutes. We did a Vietnamese brisket salad that was really fun. So that was a fun show. I also, with the new series, Planet Barbecue, we taped that down in San Antonio, and that was a really fun show to do too. It's a little bit like, what's your favorite show? It's a little bit like, who's your favorite child? Love them all. But thank you very much for asking
Yeah,
that.
I know that's a tough question because I also once in a while get asked it on the YouTube, and I've got like 400 or 500 shows under my belt there, and it's really hard to, I like to say my favorite one is probably the last one that I
The
did.
last one you did, yeah.
Yeah.
I will
So,
tell you
so
something funny that that people may not realize, but TV I was terrified of TV. And if any of you watched Barbecue University, my first series, looking
right.
back on it, I mean, it was pretty awful. And they would give me the countdown, 3, 2, 1, action, and I just froze, and that would go on
Yeah.
over and over and over again. And then I finally learned to relax and, talk to the camera like it was my friend, not like it was my seventh grade teacher giving me an exam. And now I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's really fun now.
You know, I think we've all anybody who has YouTubed or whatever, we've all been there. I mean, after all, YouTube is, look, YouTube could be a beast. I mean, your video can get out there to a lot of people, and there is take after take after take. It is, in the beginning, it was definitely nerve wracking for sure. This is Scotty's Backyard Barbecue. Planet Barbecue delivers. Whenever I need a barbecue recipe, I reach for Steven's books for inspiration. So there you go.
Well, Scotty, thank you so much. By the way, speaking of YouTube, I've had a YouTube channel for years, and it sort of lay dormant. But I've just started to put up new material on it. So moving forward, it's Steven Reichlen's I think it's the Steven Raichlen official YouTube channel. But moving forward, if you didn't catch some of the shows, they will be on YouTube, and the plan is to roll out a lot more. I'm also, we were talking about streaming earlier, and, I came of age before the streaming generation, but we're streaming on Hungry now. We will be streaming on a number of other platforms. And of course, you can watch the shows on my website, barbecuebible.com. So
I've got you, and I've got your YouTube channel up. I do believe that is the official YouTube channel, and I will have all these links in the
thank you.
description
Good.
after the show.
Yeah. It's amazing to me also, social media. Obviously, when I started, social media it didn't exist. Believe it or not, when I started writing to begin with, computers didn't even exist. iPhones didn't exist. But I find social media is there's so much you can learn. It's so fast, and it's like the whole world comes to your screen, and that is super exciting. And I, in my Instagram channel, my Facebook channel, I love doing it, and we try and do it every day. Try and put something up every day, and it's. I will freely admit it's not as polished as as let's say the shows like Guga or Live Fire Republic. Those are very polished, very professionally
Very.
produced. Mine sort of, my backyard with an iPhone, but it's fun. I love that. I
Yeah,
definitely use
down to
Barbecue
earth.
Bible as my North Star for crafting new flavors. Boy, that could be a quote on the back of the book. I might say,
There
"Hey,
you
Chef's
go.
Backyard." I might steal that from you, but I'll give you
You,
credit for it.
you write that one down for sure. That definitely. It's true. There are some, major players, like you said, Guga or Gouda, uh, highly produced shows on YouTube. Because that's just where it has gone. It has gone a lot off TV onto
Hmm.
YouTube,
Hmm.
which has opened up a whole world for people like me. And you have to think somewhere in there, you started it all. I mean, were there any other cooking channels? I know Rob Reinford licensed to grill. He must have been on around the same time you were. I'm thinking. I don't know if you know who
Well,
he is.
yeah, well, interestingly, I mean, sort of in my mind, if we really do the history of this field, a guy named Chris Schlesinger, who had a restaurant called who had a restaurant called the East Coast Grill in Cambridge, Massachusetts, back when I was
Hmm.
the restaurant critic for Boston Magazine, and he was really the first restaurant to make a wood burning grill the focal point of his restaurant. And then Bobby Flay, way before he became a Food Network phenom, did a show with Jack. What was Jack's last name? It's called Grillin' and Chillin'. So those were early.
I think I
And then
remember them.
I came out with Barbecue University, 4 seasons of that, and then I switched producers and we started making Primal Grill, and at that
Mm.
point it really became fun. Then
So
I
so 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 Barbecue University was down. It started out in 2003. Primal Grill started in 2008. We are now in 2024.
It's
I mean,
scary, isn't it?
that is a nice run, man. That is a
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
run. Um,
yeah.
so look, let me just. I know you wanted to. We've got you
I got a
till
couple.
6:30.
I got, yeah. I'll take a
You
couple more
you good?
questions. Yeah,
Okay, let
yeah.
me just see what we got here. No, so I got it too. I got the links. Wendy has been posting up some links of your of
Okay,
all your books and stuff.
okay.
I've watched a few episodes of. Brian says I've watched a few episodes of Planner Barbecue,
Planet
and I am
Barbecue. I think
always
that's a typo.
Planet.
Yeah,
Okay, Planet
yeah.
Barbecue, and I'm always fascinated by what Steven cooks up on the show.
Well, thank you. I've written many books. I've actually more than 30 books, but I think the one of the which I'm the most proud is my book Planet Barbecue. Uh, to write that, I visited more than, I think it was 73 countries on 6 continents. That was another one of those books that took 4 years to write. Another one of
Now
those.
you broke up. Which book was that, Steven?
This is a book called Planet Barbecue. It preceded the
Gotcha.
show. Some of you are referring to the TV show, but before that, there was a book called Planet Barbecue. It's about my travels around the world's barbecue trail. What happens to all those grills you used taping the show? Yeah, we get that question a lot. So the real expensive ones go back to the manufacturer,
Hmm.
and the less expensive ones and the ones that we've really put a lot of miles on, they'll go to the crew or they'll go to the host property, or a few of them find their way to my backyard.
There you
But
go.
rest assured, they all got put to good use.
There you go. And all mine go to Facebook Marketplace. So there you
Oh, that's
go.
good. Okay, good. Yeah,
Plus
great.
Stephen, all the Barbecue Bible 500 Club. Okay. Best YouTube barbecue
Hey,
ever.
hey, Brian, you guys are watching? What time is it there? It's 6:30. It must be 12:30. So this is a fantastic story, and I will leave you with this.
Excellent.
Um, So I hear from Robert and Aylin Douglas a few years ago, and they tell me that they moved to Spain. They retired to Spain, and during COVID lockdown, they found a copy of Barbecue Bible in one of their boxes, and they thought, you know what? Let's start cooking through it. And they cooked every single recipe in the Barbecue Bible. And
Wow.
when we found that out, we started the Barbecue Bible 500 Club, which is a Facebook page. And we've got people from all over the world doing it. And we have different levels. So a friend from the Czech Republic, Thomas Dietrich, just achieved the 100 recipe level. That's our bronze level. And a couple from the United States just achieved the I think it's the silver level, which is 200 recipes.
Wow.
We do give prizes out for the various recipes, and I just got to tell you, the Douglases have been so great putting up the site, managing the site. So check it out. It's fun to see what people are doing around the world. It's always fun for me,
Yeah.
to see one of my recipes. Writing a cookbook's a little bit like writing music, and the recipe's sort of the uh, broad music page to follow, but everybody plays it differently, and it's super fun for me to see how people do it. So check
Yeah.
out Barbecue Bible 500 Club.
There you go. And I could see, and I'm going to let you go right after this. I could see that you still light up when you talk about food and cooking. I mean, I can just see it on you, which is in itself amazing. After all these years of doing it, you have not tired from it yet. Um, that is for sure. And look, I have to thank you for coming on the show. If I am ever in your neck of the woods, which we are close, I am Jersey,
Okay.
I am going to
Okay.
stop over and cook with you. That would be, wow, that would be amazing. Other than that, I appreciate you coming on. I will get
Well,
all your link. Go ahead.
great. I was going to say, Tommy, you did a great job. You really asked some nice questions, and I really thank you, everybody, for posting such interesting questions. And absolutely, if you're ever in the hood, yeah, by all means, give me a ring. Any rate,
Excellent, man.
everybody, grill on. Thanks a lot.
Have a great night, my friend.
Thank you.
And there you go. What a nice guy, man. I have to tell you, when I sent the email out to him, I was kind of shocked that he answered me, to tell you the truth, because, look, he is the guy. He is the guy. Before Food Network, like I said, coming home at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning from the bars, PBS would go on. Again, that's free television for all you young cats who don't know what that is. And, I would put that on, and there were, being in the restaurant business like I was all my life, I would turn on the PBSs and so forth, and Steven would be there. I think License to Grill would be there, and I'd watch that stuff till 4 o'clock in the morning, so because I, cooking's just in my blood. I just, I love to watch it. When Food Network came out, it was awesome. I was, when they made the switch back over to game shows, I lost interest in that, but what could I say? That's the way it is. Let me go down this list here and see what we got. That was very cool seeing you on here with Tommy. And I'll tell you, man, I would love to, I have his phone number and I do have his email. And I bet you if I was up, I think he's up in Martha's Vineyard. And if I was up that way or wanted to go over and cook with him, I bet you he would say, come on up. You can just tell he is just that kind of guy. He is a smooth guy, very cool. I was joking with him before we came on the air because he's like an old hippie, and he threw that Tommy, can you hear me, which is the Who. So he's just a cool cat, man. That's the best way I can say it. Down to earth too, no doubt about it, man. He is the epitome of food. He is the coolest. He's the grandfather of barbecue. He's the one that paved the way for all of them. For all of them. And he liked your saying there, Chef's Backyard. Hopefully, he wrote that down. And I did reach out. I did reach out to Rob Reinford of License to Grill, Mr. Canadian, but I have yet to hear back from him. And probably won't. Um, you know, but I would love to carry on with some of these. Some of these old time heroes. That is correct, Fritz Frank. He was again. Maybe even before Steven was Rob Reinford. I would watch him. He'd be out at his pool, grilling up a storm. And again, PBS. This is when Julia Childs was the only other cooking show on TV. I used to watch her too all the time. She had nothing to do with barbecue, but I would watch Julia Childs, at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Also, Julia Childs was probably one of the most famous TV chefs, total chef, old style cook, not like Chef Ramsay, who he's a personality. She was a straight out chef, French, but she could cook anything, so that was fun. Switching gears to the gravity fed, I'm getting a ton of moisture in my firebox chimney. Is that because I'm using too much wood or just too much fuel sometimes? You can load that. Now, is this the XT or is this the one of the older ones, the 1050? And that's another question I wanted to ask Steven, was about the gravity feds. I would have wanted to get his comment on them. He might not even know what they are. I'm not even sure. Let me know on that. Is that I'm thinking that's one of the older ones. I've never heard of any moisture in the firebox. When you say firebox, so you're talking where the food is cooking, not the hopper? I've not had any moisture like that, if that's what you're saying. Yeah, it was he lit up, man, when he got that question. The guy still has a burning passion for cooking, and like I said before, that is just good to that is awesome to see. Let me just pop on over here real quick to my Facebook and see what's happening. I don't even know. Oh, is that the show? I don't even know if the show made it onto my Facebook. I'll have to post a replay. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we're here. I see Mike C over there and Daryl Land over there. Facebook's acting a little bit fugazi. Let me get on over to my... just bear with me here. And we've got Kiki over on the Business Gallery Facebook page with Elena Mann Douglas. I think that was one of Steven's friends over on my page. And of course, my Shar Lammert is over there. And so the hopper. So I've never had moisture that I can remember. Scotty, if Scotty's out there, maybe he can help you there. I've never really had moisture in the hopper on the 560. I wish I could help you there, but I don't know why there would be moisture trapped up in there, especially with the heat, unless I don't know what town you're in, But that is it, man. I am going to knock this show off now a little bit early. So let me see what Scotty says. I never had moisture either. So Scotty's a big 560 user. What would you think, Scotty? Maybe he's got a seal broke somewhere that is letting air into the hopper. Do you ever notice any smoke coming from any type of crack from the hopper? Maybe that. Maybe you've got some moisture. I mean, Scotty, he uses that 560 as much as anybody, and I've never really seen that. And Uncle Pink says it is on Facebook. If he didn't write it down, Tommy, he can always email him the quote for the show. I can, for sure. I appreciate that. Cooked a brisket for Mother's Day. I think, did you send me pictures of that? I thought I saw that. I get so many pictures from viewers, which I love, but sometimes I fugazi out on who they are. I just forget. Unless your wood is green, maybe. Top lid may be leaking. So I'll have to get a couple of these beer can chicken recipes up on the up on my channel. Coconut peanut sauce, iced tea chicken. There's a lot of recipes in here. We'll definitely have to do that. Molly burger. Send them on over. All right, guys. Look, that is it, man. I'm a little jacked up from that interview, but I am going to end this show a little bit early tonight. Um, and that's it, man. If anybody has any last questions, get them in now. Unless you guys beg me to stay, but I think it's okay. It was the first. Okay, so the first brisket cook on the Tahoma 900. Fantastic show. Thank you. That was that was pretty cool. I've been meaning to and here is for those that this is I mentioned him. This is Rocco DeSpirito, I think you pronounce his name. He is another chef that I met that I grew up watching. He's probably, I mean, he may be younger than me, but he seems to have been on TV maybe 15, 20 years ago. He's not, I don't really, I used to watch him all the time though. So I was a kick to meet him. So, I've been meaning to post a Instagram. And if you see that gallery backyard barbecue sign behind me, there's a lot of badges on there from summer fests and this gig I did, I did with M&K, and then there's a gig I did with Chef's Temp, and there's a couple barbecue festivals, Houston, where I went out and met the guys, and I was going to post a picture with all that, and I touched on it a little bit with Steven, just how much barbecue has opened up for myself. I don't even know. I mean, I guess I would still be doing floors and just kind of probably waffling, just kind of going through the motions. Always positive. Even when I was doing floors, you don't catch me in really too often in a bad mood, but I couldn't imagine, I couldn't imagine doing anything else that I am doing right now. And it's all because of food, so that is pretty cool. And I can see it in Steven, man, the dude, just getting questions, he lit up, just talking about it. And, so that was great to see. He's a real person. And that is the reason why he came on this show tonight. Because he is a real person and he loves to talk food. I mean, after all, who am I? I mean, I'm a YouTuber, successful, but he's Steven Raichlen, so that just goes to show you the type of person he is. And, maybe that's in food, maybe that's how a lot of food people are. I think we were talking, was it the after show, maybe, or was it during M&K's live show Friday? I forget if it was on the after show or was it during the show. We were talking about, and I'm pretty sure it was their show. We were talking about just meeting famous people, and are they nice because they're at an event, or are they nice because they're just nice? And Steven's nice because he's just nice. You can tell. And I do believe Rocco is also a decent person. And I'm going to meet him again in about 3 weeks. And I will certainly be bringing this picture here to get him to sign it so I can put it on my wall. But, so I'm babbling over here. I missed tuning it over the last few months. And I think that's it, man. I'm going to go to bed with a big smile on my face. I have little edits to do tomorrow, little gym in the morning. It's supposed to be 70s here in Jersey. You know, it doesn't get much better than that. And I did a rib battle today between the Lone Star pellet grill and the Masterbuilt XT. It was a rib battle, straight out, 5 hours, no wrap, no sauce. I just wanted to get the taste of the protein, the taste of the pork, and the results might shock you a little bit. That video will be out Wednesday. Definitely, man. Good show tonight. Good show tonight. So that's it, guys. I'm going to cut out of this one, man. I appreciate all you guys for watching. Let's see what happens next week. Who's going to be on? We shall see. I've got a couple feelers out to a couple people, so we will see how that is. And happy Mother's Day to the mothers that are out there. Oh, by the way, can't forget that. And that is it, man. Everybody enjoy the week, enjoy the month, enjoy the summer, enjoy the year, and we will see you soon.